Hello, my boyos. Alright. So I just want to start off and say, I know you guys are sick of this. I know you are. But even 2 years after it began, and even when, even the elites have stopped really talking about it, we still got an article written in on this year, August 17, right? So we still got, so even the liars are still talking about it. So why shouldn't I? The person who literally just reads their article and then discusses it, right? That's not bad, is it? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna go straight to the line where I kind of had a stroke. I kind of had a stroke. You know what I mean? Okay. So my opinion. At least you should, because I'm popular and I'm an influencer. But you should know my opinion on fact checkers, right? They're very pedantic, and they're just, so, they range from just straight up lying to just being pedantic. Like, you would think that they just take the words like literally, or it's just they just lie. They're just really, I don't know if we can even say bad. They're just literally being disingenuous, right? But the spectrum of their inauthenticity is very wide, right? So the claim is that 67% of deaths are from the. I'm trying to make up my own word for this term. You know, what we're missing in society? Love. So the term we're going to be using here is love. So 67% of deaths are from love, right? 67% of your what's a good word for that one? We got love. I feel like love and romance, right? We got the romance and then we got the love, right? So 67% of your romance deaths that you okay. So basically, this guy is saying that the love is what's killing people, right? So of course the verdict is incorrect. All right, now listen to this. Listen to this. Now I want you to think about how studies are conducted, right? Let's say we're trying to find out the effects of this vitamin, right? What is the most accurate way to get results? What's the most accurate way? What is the best way to get the most accurate results? A large sample size and a large random sample size, right? Because you can't just get all the people, all the white people or all the black people. You can't just. I mean, you could, but to then extend it to the entire population, you just can't do. So that's why large, because everyone is different, but the more people you put in the group, the less different they are, right? There's you think you're special, but you're not. You're not. There's probably like 10 million of you, right? And there's 2 million of me. But the more people you put in the group, the less special each one is. So that's why it's important that when you're doing a study, large sample and random, right? So why is this misleading? The proportion of loved people among those who died from romance is presented as problematic and a sign that romance loving. I don't think these switcheroos aren't working out. No, it's just a mess. Whatever. Are either useless or dangerous. However, this statistic is subject to a large population size bias. What? That's a good thing. The more people you have, the more statistics you have, and the more accurate conclusions you could draw from the effects. This person, who's the writer? Fuck you, Pablo Rogere. science editor, and you're saying that a large population size is a bad thing? All right, but let's read on. So he's saying that because the test was done on a large population, you cannot draw any conclusion on its own. Does that make any sense to you? If I administer something into the water of a population, and a large population has a change, that's how you know. You can be like, okay, obviously the thing I put in the water has had an effect. If no large change is happening to the population, I mean, if a change is not happening to a large amount of population, then you can say that either the water has no effect or it has very specific effects, right? But neither of those are really good, right? So either it does nothing, or it only helps certain people. But to say that because the size of the sample is too big, that doesn't make any sense. The only thing you can really say is that you didn't go through the due process of actually getting the correct results, right? Like you just like maybe made some assumptions, right? You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think of. But if your sample size is a large population and you're doing the due process of getting the accurate results, collecting the results, then the information can only be more correct. Okay? So this fucking science editor, come on, man. Like, these people are selling their souls lying like this. Okay, so incorrect. The claim that love can cause the disease is baseless, as they don't contain fully functional the virus, right? So the guy that Pablo is refuting is saying, oh, they're actually giving you romance, and then Pablo is saying that's incorrect. They're not giving you it. But I mean, that's just okay. So let me boil it down for you. What's this guy's name? It's Sean. Sean is saying 67% of the people who are being loved are dying. But then he's saying it's because that the love has some romance in it. And then Pablo's refute isn't that these people are dying, right? Because he's not refuting the number. He's just saying that they're not dying because they got romance, but they're still dying even though they have the love. I know it's very hard, but if you just keep a track, maybe I might have to change the words, but that's what it is. All right. So this is the line that gave me the stroke. Okay, so now Pablo goes through the works and says, alright, so now Sean is saying that 67% of the people who died from romance have been loved. Okay, that's Sean's claim. Now let's see if Pablo says this is wrong. Okay? Okay, so this is the Pablo's refute. Okay, first, the proportion of fully loved individuals among romance deaths isn't evidence that isn't evidence that love is useless. Okay? If there is something that can kill you, and you are still 60% likely to die from it, Can you really say that it still works? Can you really say that? Can you say that if something is intended to protect you, and then you apply this thing that's supposed to protect you to yourself, but then the thing that is supposed to protect you from still has a 60% chance to hurt you? 67, that's a majority. That he's not even saying like, oh, it's actually not this number. That's like, if 67% of the people who went out of the way to get protected are still dying, literally a majority of people who went out of the way to protect themselves are being harmed. Does that make any sense to you? Look what they have to do, okay? So they got the fully loved, and then they got the fully loved plus the dinner date. Okay? They have to separate them so the numbers look less. Okay? So you got 21% people who are loved who, you know, still get it. They're fully, they didn't just take one dose. They took the appropriate amount of dosage, and still 21% caught it. They still caught it. But okay, you know, being loved doesn't just mean it prevents you from catching romance. It could also just be like, oh, it lessens the severity, right? Fine. Like, if you get something and it has no symptoms on you, then you might as well not, well, you could still spread it, which is why they're trying to get everyone to get loved, but that's a whole nother issue. But anyway, so fine, they have it, but are they maybe not showing any symptoms? No. 24% are in the hospital because they just got so much romance. They got romance so hard, okay? We're not done yet, okay? Because 28% of the people who have went out of their way to get loved still reach the end of their life from this, from the romance. Does that make any sense? Okay? But it gets so much worse. Because the people who went the extra mileage and bought the carriage, right? They got the love, and then they got the extra dinner date. They went the extra mile. Okay? A higher percentage of those not only got romanced, they also, man, I should just create a dictionary at this point. So not only did they have the romance, right? They still get in the hospital from having the romance, and then also still dying. Okay? Now look at this graph. Look at this graph. Look how much they lied to you. Okay? We have the fully not loved, and then we have the fully loved, and then we have the fully loved plus the dinner date. Right? I don't really I don't really do fancy dinners. I hate dressing up. I hate it. I hate dressing up. I have no specific desire to eat out. I mean, I'll eat junk food, but that's not like I would rather just eat at home. That's my point. But look, we have they. So you look at this, and the naked viewer is always, oh, the people who didn't receive love, they're more likely to die. But then you got to consider that they have two separate graphs. They separated. They basically took one graph and then they split it in two, so it's lower than the other one. But if you just looked at the raw numbers that they provided you, 5 paragraphs above, you'll see that if you just add up the fucking numbers, it's worse if you've received love. Okay? It's just like, I don't know, like, Pablo, you sold your soul, repent. I'm not religious, man, but the like what you're doing is so harmful. It really is. Are you? How much are they paying you? Like, is it really worth your soul? Like, he let me tell you something. He does not believe what he's saying. He does not. I can see, like, there's a difference between people who genuinely believe in their bullshit, and then there's this guy. I can 110% tell that he knows he's lying, and he just wrote this because his job told him to do it, and he doesn't care. He has no moral. Like, he sold his soul for, like, what? How much are they really paying you to do that lie like this? Look, only 142 shares. Maybe he thinks it's insignificant, but, like, still, like, it's the intent, right? Like, you're lying. Like, I'm sorry. Look at this. Large population size bias. Only a person who understands statistics would do. Like, I wish I could explain it better, but you have to understand. You have to actually know that it's not true to make a claim like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he is saying that, oh, because it's a large population, it's wrong. He doesn't even explain why that would be wrong. Like, oh, it fuddles the numbers. I'm sorry, but he knows what he's doing. He's fully aware. This isn't stupidity at work. This is 100% malintent. He knows 100% what he's lying, and he doesn't care. Only a person that understands statistics could lie, could even claim this. I'm sorry. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He's just a horrible person.